Well, the United Nations mission in Congo says militia fighters in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo attacked a UN peacekeeping base on Friday, triggering clashes that left 2 of the fighters dead and 2 peacekeepers slightly wounded. Friday's attack, in which 2 rebels were also wounded, was a rare frontal assault on UN forces that are charged with protecting civilians in Congo's east, where dozens of armed groups exploit mineral resources and prey on local residents. The Central African Republic has been plagued by inter-religious violence over the past several years, forcing hundreds of thousands of people to flee their homes, either to be displaced elsewhere within CRR or to seek refuge in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Joining us today is Pascale Serra. She is a Mandela Washington Fellow and a native of the Central African Republic. She has spent the last 3 years working on a documentary profiling the people displaced by the violence in the CAR. Now, Pascale, first share with us what motivated you to do this documentary for that past 3 years?
At the beginning, I was not supposed to work on it because it wasn't a subject I was working on at the beginning. And when I was, when you were landing in the airport of Central African Republic, you were already saying displaced people close to the airport at this time. There were like 28,000 people living there close to the airport. And so it was really obvious to see them. And I was wondering how those people are living, because there were rumors that people don't want to go back home because they are staying there in order to take advantage of donations that NGOs were giving to them. And a friend told me once to say, okay, Pascale, if you want, we can go on the field and you will meet these people and you will do your own opinion. So when I get there, I was really, really surprised and touched about how people created their own society. It wasn't like people have told me. People were waking up every morning, go to work, trying to survive, not waiting for help, but was really struggling and was, I felt like a resilience inside the camp. And I thought it was really important to show that and to speak about it.
Yeah. And this happens in many parts of Africa. In Central African Republic, of course, we know the country has been going through so much. Why do you think this is really important to show the world at this time?
I think I'm from Central African Republic, and sometimes I feel really bad that my country is only being told about bad things. Mm-hmm. We only heard about Central African Republic when things are going bad, like conflicts, wars, or events which are violent. So I think it's important to show another narrative of that.
So you're not really like trying to draw pity, like how miserable people are in the camps, but you wanted to show the resilience and the spirit of these people.
Yeah, I think we don't speak about those people. We speak more about people who are killing and doing bad things, and we forget to speak also about people who just want to live in peace and who are trying to survive and who are creating things in order to just move on.
Yes.
So this is what I'm showing within the story in this documentary.
And do you talk a little bit more about the people's state of mind and their kind of feelings about what's going on in their lives and what is being done by their country and the rest of the world?
We found out that by taking the testimony, people felt really happy to speak up. Because unfortunately, in my country, audiovisual is not working very well. We only have one TV channel, which is not really working well. So mostly events are related to political subjects. So we found out that people needed to speak up, to tell what they are going through, to share with people how they are living. And it's also a way to convey messages about peace, reconciliations. And we also found out that by telling the story, we also creating empathy and solidarity, because people react and say, oh, you talk sometimes about this person, how we can help, how we can do something. And it's also a way to build our own history, because we don't have archives. We don't know really how our history is only built on bad things, bad histories. So I think we also have to build our own history. And yeah, I think it's more than a documentary. It's something like a tool to raise awareness among population.
I really commend you for doing such a good work, dignifying the humanity of the people of that country, despite of all the problems. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Joining us
Thank
today.
you.
Well, that's Pascale Serra. She's a Mandela Washington Fellow and a native of the Central African Republic.